Hello, welcome. How's everybody today? I want to talk to you today about how you look at money and not it's how you view things when somebody gives you something. When somebody, whether they give you $5, $100, whether they give you a great gift, they gift you with, I don't know, a new car or, a gift card to go buy clothes or, a beautiful necklace. It's how you view it. And there's three ways people view money: to view gifts or view things given to them. Because how you accept things given to you tells the universe all it needs to know about whether to keep giving you abundance or not. So the three ways are, the first way is, doesn't matter what you get, it's never enough. You could get a great necklace, but you wish it would have been better. You could have got a great laptop, but you wish it would have been this version. Somebody gave you a phone, but you really wish it would have been an Apple versus an Android. I don't know. That tells the universe, okay, it doesn't seem like anything's going to really be good enough for her. So let's just kind of, back off a little bit here and give her time to reflect. It doesn't mean that you're not grateful when you receive it, but it's a different kind of grateful. It's like, yeah, I like it, but. The second way to look at money is you always have just enough. You always have just enough to go on that vacation. You always have just enough to buy that outfit or just enough to buy this house, but never more. Never less, never more. You're just right there, just a baseline. You just have enough. So you're telling the universe, I'm grateful for what I have, but it's just enough. So don't give me too much because I only want to stay at just enough. And I know people like this. It doesn't matter where they're at financially. It's like, well, I have just enough. And be like, well, don't you think you might have a lot? Nope, just enough. Do you think you don't have that much? Nope, just enough. Doesn't matter where they're at. They could be making $50,000 a year. They could be making $500,000 a year. It's just enough. And that's how they view it. The third person has more than enough. The third person, I always find, is much more grateful because they have more than enough. They have, $5 and they'll give you 4 and keep 1 because they have more than enough. They're happy to go out and buy you whatever you want because they have more than enough. And these people live in gratitude. These people are, everything out of their mouth is, I am so grateful for, I'm so thankful for, I'm so glad I got this. And that's really the level you want to aspire to, is more than enough. And I know some of you guys, especially, COVID has hard hit so many people. And a lot of people are sitting there like, I don't have a job, or I don't know how I'm going to pay rent. It's a mindset. And I know that sounds like, oh, easy for you to say. But I really had to work on my mindset because my mom was a never enough person. Didn't matter what she had or what was going on, it was just never enough. She'd get a new car, this is great, but those people have a better car. My dad, considering what he did, he worked at a steel mill. He made good money, but it was just never enough for her. And so she kind of repelled abundance. My dad, on the other hand, had more than enough. He'd go out and have drinks and buy the bar drinks. He'd go out, to get something and bump into a homeless person and here's money because he had more than enough. So it was interesting to watch the dynamics between the two because you had one that was never good enough and one that if you would have gave my dad a broken down, I don't know, anything, and he'd be like, well, thank you. I'm so grateful for that. You could have gave him the rattiest ass golf club you could find. It was rusty and 500 years old. And he'd be like, well, thank you. I'll go try to use it. And he, by God, would go out on the golf course and try to play with it. He knew it was like, probably isn't going to play very good, but he would because he was grateful. And you have to come from a grateful heart, especially if right now you have just enough or you're not really getting by or you're struggling with money. You have to tell yourself, I'm so grateful for. And it may just be, what, I'm so grateful I have an apple to eat. There was a time when I was broke and I was homeless. And I was grateful if I could just find something to eat. I was grateful if, somebody would just be like, hey, why don't you stop by, the house and hang out for a while so I didn't have to, stay in the truck. I was grateful for that stuff. But I found, though, as I got older, I became more like my mom. As I started making money and making good money, it was like, well, it's never good enough. I want more. You know, when people ask, what are you making? I tell them, they're like, wow, you do really well. And I was like, well, not really. I don't make enough. And it took me a while to realize, you know, I'm my mom. Whereas my dad's, my God almighty, my husband's more of a, he was, you know, he has more than enough. No, I'm sorry. He has, you know, he has enough. He'll give it. What do you want? He'll give it to you. And so it's interesting to watch the dichotomy between us. And I finally had to commit about a year ago to, you know what? I have a lot and I need to share it with the world. You know, I have more than enough. I don't have just enough. And I don't have enough of what I want. I have more than enough. And when I took that realization on, I realized how much my life changed. So if you just, you know, try to shift your view that you have more than enough, that at least you can have an apple and be grateful for the apple. At least you can do this one thing and be grateful for. Because if you find that you stay in the, I just don't have this, or I don't have that, or why does everybody else have more than I have, and why does everybody have this, then you're not going to ever get what you want. Don't compare yourself to what everybody else has. Worry about what you have and be grateful for what you have. And I promise you, if you do this, things will change for you. Things will shift. Because I find people that you know, just it's never good enough are the ones who just never get ahead. They always kind of stay at the point. And they'll be like, well, I must have money blocks. Nobody has money blocks. So I'm not minimizing the money block, you know, or the money blocks. Or, you know, I have a bad attitude. Or they'll be like, my mother is greedy, or my father was, you know, this or that. And they all go into those stories. But it doesn't matter. It's what your worldview is. And your worldview comes from the world around you. So you may have picked up these attitudes from your parents, but what are you picking up from your friends as well? How do they view money as how you view money? You know, I had a client who hung around with people that made way more money than she did. She was making about $70,000 a year, and her friends on an average were making about $300,000 a year. And I found that interesting. So I was like, okay, now you hang around with these guys, you know, but yet you're still, you know, where you're at. And she goes, well, I'm learning from them, and I'm learning everything I can, but they've been lucky, and you know, some of them are greedy. If the word greedy comes out of your mouth, then it's never good enough. If the word greedy comes out of your mouth, you're repelling money. You're telling the universe that everybody who has money is greedy. And it's not. Everybody who has money does with their money as they choose. And I find, from my experience, most of my friends that are making really good money are also extremely generous. Because in order to make real money, you have to be grateful. And you can say, well, you can point to all these people that are millionaires and they seem like slime bugs. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in their head? You know, there are all kinds of mysteries of the universe to unlock. You know, when you watch movies like The Secret or the Life of Water, they're just tapping into resources. I mean, when you go back and you read the Bible, there's a book out there called Millionaires from the Bible. And you realize how many people in the Bible were millionaires. They made great money because they understood the laws. And to me, the Bible is the best personal development book you could ever read, ever, because it lays out the groundwork. It tells you what you think about, you bring about. You know, if you believe in a higher power, then a higher power believes in you. If you're grateful, then it'll be grateful back. Sometimes you have to give a lot to get some. Sometimes you have to sacrifice and give up stuff to get, you know, down the road. If you're having a hard time right now, it's just preparing you. And I know that's hard to see. When I look back now and realize when I was homeless, I was being prepared for the person I am today. If I would not have had that experience, I would not be the person I am today. I mean, I look at myself now and think, man, I like myself. You know, and we all talked about how bad 2020 and 2020 and 2021 were. But I came out of it liking myself. And, you know, later today we're going to talk about in every adversity is always a seed of something better. But it's up to you to see that something better. And if you're operating from the, it's not good enough, or I don't have enough, or I have just enough, you're never going to get any further. It's when you switch your thinking, you switch your gear, and you switch your mindset to, I have more than enough. Thank you, God. I have more than enough. Then you will continue to get abundance because the universe recognizes that from the money they give you, good comes. From the money they give you, your attitude changes, your view of the world changes. You might donate. Who knows what your give backs are. And please have a give back. I mean, I had a give back when I was making nothing. You've got to give back. You know, to those who much have given, much is expected. So have a give back. So when you look at the 3 ways of money, nothing's good enough, I have just enough, or I have more than enough. Lean into you have more than enough. And even if you don't have more than enough, act as if. Because acting as if, you're not, you know, people are like, well, then I go out and buy a car. Don't go buy a car you can't afford, but tell the universe, I have more than enough. What can I do to show people I have more than enough? How can I help the universe? And the universe is going to be, you've got it. Here it comes. You know, I do card readings. And I was talking to somebody and she's like, well, I don't know. $77 for a card reading is a lot. You're probably not my customer. And it's not the price. It's not the 77 bucks. It's either it's not going to be good enough or you're going to have just enough. I want to talk to the people that believe in abundance. I want to talk to the people that see the magic in the world, that see all that is possible. Because when you see what's possible, when you see the magic in the world, you will accomplish unbelievable things. It took me years upon years upon years of pain and suffering and sabotaging myself to understand that we live in a magical universe that just wants to hand you everything. Just wants to hand it to you. You just have to figure out how to unlock the key. I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions, please DM me. Please ask me. You know, I'm here to serve. I'm here to help you guys. I don't think a video goes well unless my hand's in it at some point. I want people to love themselves. I want you to wake up and look in the mirror and say, my God, I love myself. And there was years I couldn't say that, but now I can say, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy of the person I've become. Has it been easy? No. But I have more than enough. And when I have more than enough and that I can share with the world, I can share things with everybody, life is good. So I hope this happens. I hope abundance happens to you. Here's to finding your blue rose and just taking charge of you. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.